With just days to go until Christmas, for many people it brings a feeling of dread. Christmas can be one of the loneliest days of the year, especially for the country's estimated 116,000 homeless who often have nowhere to go and no family to reach out to. It's where charities like Sydney's Wayside Chapel step in, providing not just Christmas lunch, but love and support for anyone who needs it. Wayside Chapel CEO John Owen joins me now, along with Felicity Powell, who is a regular Wayside volunteer. You've been at it for years. Felicity, we can't keep you away.
No.
So I'd love to hear about your experience in a moment. John, I just wanted to ask you first, that time of year again, it's the 15th Wayside lunch, and it's not just a lunch, it's a street party. Tell us what you've got planned for this year.
Well, we're in the home stretch of the preparations now for Sydney's most outrageous street party. So we've got our volunteers preparing everything, getting it ready. On the day, we're going to peel over 100 kilos of prawns and prepare over 500 Christmas puddings as we set out to start off with a street party that begins in both. We've got two locations now, in King's Cross, in Hughes Street, but also in Bondi Beach at the Bondi Surf Lifesaving Club. And both of those parties will kick off at 10:30 with a street service and then a street choir. And then we'll kick into a beautiful Christmas lunch prepared by our community and our volunteers, with all the trimmings, all the pudding, with all the custard. And then we'll a DJ will be cranking up the music after lunch, and we'll be, if we're doing it right, you'll be in a wonderful conga line by about 2:30.
I've witnessed that myself. And it's not just, people think this is just for homeless people, people who are down and out, but anyone's welcome.
Whether you're a 3-year-old in a tutu or a 50-year-old in a tutu, you're welcome down at the Wayside. Because Christmas does have a time of sharpening our focus on our relationships and our connections. And when those connections are good and healthy, it's a time for joy, isn't it? But for so many who are doing it tough, it's also that time of year where you actually focus on the fact that perhaps you've never had a healthy family, or you might be focusing on a relationship that has broken down through tragedy, loss, or violence. And so when this season approaches, it tends to fill a heavy heart with some burdens, yeah.
And so it can be a really tough time for people, as you say, and your lunch is a way of easing that. I know that when you go there, there's no way you can be lonely. There's a lot of company.
The kinds of greetings we offer as people walk down into the street is not like the ones you see when you pick up a teenage kid and they just look up from their device, but it's more kind of like the welcome you receive that you see at an international arrivals lounge. You know, you're welcome, you're embraced, and no matter where you're from or what your story is, you're not going to be asked, you're just going to be welcomed. And, you know, Felicity and others will greet people in a way that's small enough to look them in the eye and tell them that they're welcome, and they'll meet them with a love that's big enough to change the world.
You couldn't do it without the volunteers. You've got 100 or so volunteers this year, including Felicity. Felicity, you've been a volunteer now for several years, and you're a Wayside volunteer for even longer. Yeah. Why do you do it? What do you get out of it?
Christmas Day particularly, because it's actually after having years with a lot of the visitors there, but also the workers, and having a community ups and downs throughout the year. It's a culmination of those experiences that becomes an enormous party, like that conga line. And the moment you step foot in that place, everybody is smiling, and there's a vibe there that you don't get when you go to any other family function. Well, not that any other family function I've been to. So it's just a beautiful place to be. You have the diversity of people that are incredible. There's no family function that has that diversity of so many people from all walks of life, and it's beautiful.
And you've got to know, obviously, some of the residents, some of the guests as you've gone along over the years. What are some of the reasons why they come?
It's their family. They can't go, unfortunately, to their own families, and Wayside is their family. The volunteers provide, but the workers provide. It's not just the services, it's real connection, and they love it. Like, I was speaking to somebody today when I was there this morning, and that's all he kept talking about is see you Wednesday, see you Wednesday. It's just, yeah, it's an amazing place to be, and for them, that's why we go. And I take my family because it's something that they could never experience anywhere else. It's so unique.
It's not just a meal, it's a lifeline.
It's a really unique experience. It's beautiful. And we have backpackers, we have all sorts of people come, wealthy, poor, young, old. You know, it is irrelevant, your background. It's just non-judgmental. It's beautiful.
There are people watching this around the country who can't be there on the day, and obviously you are full up with volunteers as well. Don't go and sign up to be a volunteer. You have to pass the test, and you have to register months ago for that.
Yeah.
So that's not what you need. But people can actually donate a plate. John, can you tell us how that works?
They can. Firstly, there's a couple of ways they can get involved. One is, you know, so many people say, if I can't volunteer, I won't come because I'll feel useless. And actually, if you are feeling useless when you turn up, you're beginning to get it. Right? And being useless might be the most useful thing you can do all day, which is to sit at a table, look at someone in the eye, ask them how they are, and just to have the best time of your life with them. However, Donate a Plate is running. If you go online to waysidechapel.org.au/donate a plate, pretty simple, you'll be able to log on, and a $25 donation helps us to be able to put on a plate. If you provide the plate, we'll provide the party. And that will not only give them a meal on the day, which is a beautiful meal as I've outlined before, it will help us to continue to give them support services, because the party doesn't just finish on Christmas Day. We don't close. We stay open through the whole Christmas New Year's period, offering support to anyone who walks into our doors. So your support there will help us to be able to continue to be able to meet people with the love and care that they need.
And not just the Christmas period, but you're open every day of the year. What are some of those services you provide for people throughout the year?
Yes, so 365 days a year we provide access to our basic emergency services, which are showers, toilets, fresh clothes, and access to basic health services as well. And of course our programs will run over that time, which really is about meeting people where they're at and helping them move back into the world of connection, love and relationships.
It's a wonderful service you provide there, having witnessed it myself last Christmas. We wish you all the best for the day.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
You too, John. Thank you, Felicity.
Thank you.